Welcome to the Flow Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording, and it is 3:29 p.m. that is Central Time. Today is July 21st. Well, I thought that one of the more momentous things that we've had today was that China has announced that they're going to build a big new infrastructure project. That's going to be about $170 billion worth of infrastructure spend, which is still a lot of money in today's days of highly inflated numbers for AI spending. It certainly represents a significant jump in demand for steel, cement, and uh, transportation, transmission cables, and then all of the manpower that you need to move into the higher reaches of Tibet in order to build this thing. Well, that's certainly positive for sentiment, and it's at least a signal that China is willing to spend. Now, when we look at what else is happening out there, well, the LDP in Japan has lost power of both houses. Now they are a minority in the upper house, which is the first time that that's happened in one of their administrations. And that's a significant rebuke. I think something that politicians and officials and thought leaders fail to often understand is that inflation isn't something that most consumers like, whereas inflation is viewed as something positive for companies and certainly positive for governments that want to spend more than they take uh, in taxes. Well, then inflation is certainly something that is beneficial. But if you're someone who's on a fixed income and the price of the things you want to buy is going down, well, then you have more money in your pocket. If you are someone who wants to afford to live somewhere and rents are declining, that's positive for you. You get to save money every time you renew your lease. Of course, you're not going to be able to make money from the property market if you have a deflationary environment that lasts for several decades and you bought a house and that house is falling in value, well, then the primary engine through which most people make a fortune is through the appreciation in their real estate. And that just does not happen in a deflationary environment. And of course, what it does is it removes the speculative spirit. And because you don't have that speculative environment, well, then it's more difficult to get economic dynamism going. So the officials want inflation, but regular people don't. And that's basically what they've said to the politicians today by not giving the LDP unified government, which means you now have a hung parliament. And that basically implies that the Japanese government is going to have to do a bit of a rethink. Then what we saw today in Germany is that several of the large companies